Hey fellas, how you doing on my Rule 399? Welcome to Gear 5, the show where I take a car, do it up a little bit and show it to you. This week we're going to be displaying the Corvette, so sit back and enjoy the bloody ride. It's going to be a mental one, I know that much. Alright, before we start going into the crazy stuff like cornering and things like that, because this thing is going to go quite crazy quite quickly, I think. I've done everything in terms of performance on this vehicle up to the spec, you know, top spec, and I've also lowered it a lot. I've put a spoiler on there, which isn't the best spoiler, I might add. It's one of the ones I just prefer the look of. I've also done the back and front diffusers, which are there as well. You see the front one there's got lights on. Briefly saw that a moment. That combines itself to being probably one of the best vehicles you can take around the city, because with the brakes as well you can stop relatively quickly and it allows you to turn very sharply with little to no difficulty whatsoever, meaning you can avoid traffic, and it's brilliant for going around Los Santos. The turning for this vehicle is it's not easy, but it's just so forgiving and it just feels good, very snappy. You know, you want it to do something, it's going to do it. Let me just throw it around this corner here, mate. If I come through like straight around, boom, grip. You have grip. This car is incredible for grip, and I think it must be because it's lower. It's lower, the tyres are working well, and you know, you come around that corner, you hit the accelerator again, boom, you're on the move. The Banshee was very good for things like not necessarily shallow turning, but it wasn't necessarily the sharp stuff you'd find in and around the middle of the city. I think it was much better, and I think if you watched the episode you'd agree that the car performed a lot better once you got it out into the sedateness of the countryside, as opposed to way the hell down here. It did okay down here, but I think the Corvette definitely bounces around like a loon a lot nicer. You see, it's just taking these corners so smoothly. I think what makes this car pretty decent for rattling around is the size of it. It's not very big. It certainly doesn't feel very big when I'm sort of bombing around. You know, it's probably, I reckon, about the same size as a Carbonazère. Whoa, bus! Woo-hoo-hoo! Probably about the same size as a Carbonazère, but the way it goes from A to B is just, you know, you've got that acceleration there, so it's good for that. You've also got that grip, which means once you go around those corners, if you do end up sliding, you're gonna be forgiven in such a way where it doesn't really matter. It's gonna let you off, if you like. And I don't think that means it's an easy car to drive. By all means, it takes a bit of skill. Like I said, it's not exactly an easy car to drive. You know, the best thing, the beauty of it is, you don't even really have to touch the brake very much. Just let your hand off the accelerator. With a lot of cars, you've got to brake incredibly heavily before you can even, you know, you've got to almost stop before you can go around a corner nicely. Whereas this, it's kind of, you just sort of let your accelerator off and breeze around the corner, and then once you know you're in the clear again, you can start it up. Once you start it up as well, it's like, whoa, where are we going here? Like, this corner here gets me. Look at that! Look at that! That's brilliant, man! God, this car is just, I can't get my head around it. Let me go fix it up a moment. So what have we got then? We've got acceleration, we've got speed. It's kind of not the fastest car, but I think in the environment you use it in, which will probably be something like the middle of the city, the acceleration makes up for that, and you're never really going to hit top speed because you're either always braking or you're always turning, or you know, something's going to stop you from wanting to go to that top speed. You know, you're always going to be braking at some point, so I don't think that's a true downside. Occasionally I find myself doing things like, you know, so on that last little bit of clip there, you'll strike out a little bit, right? And when something goes wrong, something goes very wrong. I found that all of today, and I think I found myself getting quite annoyed with myself because it's just, you know, you crash once and then all of a sudden you're crashing all the time. And I think that could be a factor, really. Believe it or not, I reckon it could be the fact that the car's just good enough that you think it can do anything, and then you just like start doing really weird stuff, and it kind of, you end up just crashing loads. I think that that really could be a thing. I was trying to decipher whether it was me making the car crash or whether the car, those things. It's like, well, did I just turn at the wrong moment, or was that car not capable of going around the corner like that? And I think quite often I look back and I think, well, I did it because I thought the car was capable of doing it. You know what I mean? Here we go, we've got a couple more crashes here. Honestly, if you're looking for a car that's very, very quick, manoeuvrable, and you just want to bomb around the city, use it as a getaway vehicle. For 2, buy this Corsair. Get hold of it somewhere, do it up, get one. It's fantastic. Honestly, it really is. I've been on Route 309. Thank you very much for joining me today. I apologise if you don't think this was as good as last week. I was a little bit rushed. However, I do think I've said everything I need to say about the car. So, thumbs up for that, I guess. Or a ridiculously long comment, as it seems to be these days. I'll see you tomorrow for flight school, fellas.